Hello world, today I'm going to be looking at Protanopia, which is an esteemed digital comic. It has caught the attention of Awards, an organisation who collects the best digital work for showcase. Their name has 3 W's in it, like World Wide Web. I will be using the words app and comic interchangeably in this video, as Protanopia is both of these. Just a quick note, Protanopia means a kind of colour blindness. Protanopia, the comic application, is successful in regards to its use of animation to enhance storytelling, but it still has its flaws, most notably the immediate screen you're faced with when opening the application, which is shown here. The use of speech bubbles in lieu of a tutorial or menu system to contain the explanations of how to interact with this app creates a confusing conjuncture of images. The layout lacks structure and is busy. The initial page is doing too much. It is acting as a comic cover and explanation of how to use the product, as well as not providing sufficient visual cues to explain to the user initially what is interactive, not encouraging the user to unconsciously adopt a linear flow or interaction means Protanopia lacks something inherent to good app and good comic user experience. The user interface is considered, but the user experience is lacking somewhat. Scott McCloud talks about screens as being an infinite canvas where elements can come and go from view or from the viewport. Here this canvas has not been sufficiently used. The creator has also chosen to adopt a ratio akin to print media, leaving panels of black unused screen real estate above and below the comic. Later this proves to frame the panels creatively, but on the first screen this is wasteful. The initial screen also faces the user with illegibly small text, overwhelming and distracting elements. There is no splash screen. This is by no means crucial to a successful app, but does break up the busyness of the user's app menu and application upon opening. This visual break relaxes viewers by presenting less stimuli before presenting them with information. The purple hues are too similar in this initial screen as well, especially when there is a large reddish block in the center. The use of global gestures could have been adopted so users don't need to learn how to use the application. These are gestures which do the same thing or something similar across multiple applications, e.g. swiping up for scrolling down, seen in browsers and game menus. Example shown here. This is a browser, and this is a popular game and its menu, both using the same interaction. I'm just swiping up and swiping back down. This creates an intuitive application with a lack of learning or teaching required using global gestures. Or a tutorial could have been implemented into the initial frames in a similar way to the first level of Mario side-scrolling games. Get some pictures of these. In this example, World 1-1, Mario starts on the left of the screen facing right with a large amount of negative space ahead. This encourages the user to move right using the right paddle, a common interaction across many NES games at the time and still used now. The success of this gesture and its lack of need of explanation forebodes the importance of global gestures in app design and how they can offer immediately usable, comfortable and intuitive interactions. There is a reason. I'm just going to go through and talk about this in more detail. So you can see that a Goomba has appeared from the right. Even if you haven't played the game, this character is called a Goomba, and this block is flashing. The Goomba is moving towards you, and if you don't jump, it'll touch you and you'll just be put back to the beginning of the game. This encourages the user to explore interactive options, and it's a lot more fun than just being told what to do, especially in a way when you can't read the text. There is reason why Protanopia has easily discernible flaws. It was created by one person, and it's the first example I've been able to source so far to employ the use of phone tilt into a comic. But overall, it is highly successful as an app, comic, and most importantly, as a way of communicating a story to more minds. As a user, this makes me feel involved with the story as I am impacting it, and it is encouraging me to interact with the story visually by dissecting the visual elements and making sense of how they relate to each other. Like I mentioned in my Modern Palaxis video, animation could prove to be a meaningful addition to the storytelling of comics and help them gain new audience. So initially, when opening this application, I didn't realize that by pressing on these elements they can be enlarged, and then by pressing on them again they're shrunken down. That's briefly explained through what the elements are stating, but they're incredibly small and hard to see in this busy layout. So as I scroll on, this double tap feature to get this menu system is very successful. I think that's a really nice touch. After getting to grips with the application initially, it's incredibly satisfying. I'm moving the screen now, as you can see, and these dudes in the boat are moving around, and that is just very satisfying. It makes you feel involved in the story. It makes you feel that you're in the same space as these characters, that you're having control of the camera angle or just your own viewpoint, and that you're involved, and this really encourages you to interact. You can also enlarge these frames, which is very satisfying, and scroll along this way. So I'm just scrolling at the moment, and it even gives you the same visual cues for telling you where you are in the comic book with the page number at the bottom. So this is clearly taken a lot of influence from print media, whereas I think comics can use their own, digital comics can use their own technology in a different way. They don't have to just take inspiration from their print counterparts. So here again, zooming in, it's a very successful application. Again, the tilt is used on every panel. Really here you can see the parallax between the background moving in one direction and the foreground moving in the other direction as I tilt the phone. So again, this the person that's made this has used small text on this page, so it's fairly hard to read on this size device. But overall, oh, you can zoom into this as well. I just realised that interaction wasn't well explained, but I would be very fascinated by exploring how I could use this technology as a storytelling device, possibly in a different way to how this individual has approached it. Thanks so much.